o'clock this morning, and I told myself I was going to wake up at 9:30, but I feel like because the sun's coming through, and then I'm used to waking up at like 6:30 in the morning, so my body clock is ready. Well, my mind is ready, I would say, but my body clock is catching up. I want to go to bed, but then I feel like there are so many things on this list that I need to get done for the day, want to do for the day, all that sort of stuff. And although I'm really tired, I feel like I should get up. Do you ever have one of those days like that? I feel like if I just win even like an hour or half an hour of my day, it will make a difference.
So I feel like I should tell you a little bit about what I'm doing here. So I'm a Buddhist, and part of the Buddhist rituals that we do is to offer holy water, prayers, candles, incense, offerings of fruit sometimes, and sometimes even meals at the prayer altar to the Buddha and all the higher beings that we believe look out for us. And this is what I'm doing here, is exchanging the holy water that I offered in the previous day. And then I start to pray from a prayer book, and that usually takes me from around 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on what I'm doing. Although it takes a long time, I find that at this point of my morning, it really helps me to feel grounded and just solid, just more firmer in my place on earth, and feel a little bit more optimistic as well. This cute little blender from my boyfriend's mum, and I was really excited to try it out, and I loved how convenient it was, and I couldn't figure out how I can drink from this cup, and really I wasn't thinking, and this happened. And I just want to let you know that if you've had any one of those moments like this in your morning or in your day, whichever part of the day you're on, then don't worry. There is always a second thing that we can do. So in this situation, I made myself another breakfast. Okay, this is literally like take 4. First time I shot in slow-mo. Second time I didn't have my microphone on. Third time I had the microphone on, but I didn't plug it to the camera. And now here I am. I think I'm not shooting in slow-mo, and everything is on. Everything is good. And I'm coming back to my reflective state. You know, life in my early 30s is really interesting. Well, I've asked myself very important questions around what I want to do in the next 10 years of my life. Am I happy with where I want to be? Does anything need to change? Where do I want to live? And all that sort of stuff. And I'm pretty sure that, well, I'm like 85 to 90% sure that I don't want to have any children. I want to focus my time and efforts on building up my content creation, videography, and storytelling skills, and chase my dream of becoming a painter and a poet. And actually selling my work would be amazing. One day in the future, that's what I would like to do. And I've basically put a lot of work into this, and it's taking a lot to even, I think, get to this point here where I'm actually shooting and talking in front of a camera and uploading it for the world to see. Because I've done the work and now I know what I need to do, and just need to continue doing what I am doing, there is a level of consistency and expectation and practice that I want to put into all of this. And because I'm also working full time, and in my job I am a senior member of the company, so that means that I am actually also, you know, looking out for and reviewing things with the junior members of the team. And because we work in a small business as well, you're almost assuming sometimes multiple roles, and I do sort of assume that responsibility. As in, what I'm trying to say is, you know, I think it just comes naturally to everyone in the company that you'll be wearing a lot of different hats sometimes. Plus, you'll be surprised that when you start owning a home, you start to take a lot more ownership of your house, whether the place is tidy or not. I have a lot of house plants, and I feed birds in the garden as well. So, you know, there's like house chores, house responsibilities that I'm fitting into mostly the weekends, because I feel like weekdays are filled, a lot of my time is filled with my day job. So I'm most like cramming everything into the weekend, and I'm starting to feel it, you know, I'm starting to feel how much of a requirement it is to balance so many things. And I was washing the dishes like about an hour ago, and I was looking outside and I was looking at the crows, like picking up the bread that I, you know, left in the garden for them. And it was just a really peaceful, really nice moment. And I had this thought in my mind. It was more like a question. I asked myself, because I was at that point like running from doing one thing to another, and I said, would I be doing anything else than this? If I wasn't doing this, then is there anything else that I would rather be doing with my time, like right here, right now? And my answer was actually no. Like, I'm actually really content with the decisions that I've made. It has come with a lot of sacrifices, more so than I realized as well. At the same time, it brought me a lot of peace that, you know, I would rather be here doing what I am doing, even though sometimes it does feel a bit tiring. Sometimes it does feel like I'm juggling so many plates, and sometimes there's a lot going on. And I was talking to my mom on the phone as well, and she said this to me. She said, everybody is busy. Like, everybody is busy. And she didn't say it in like a mean way. You know, when your family like talks to you in a way that just hits you, like, honestly, it was one of those moments. She said it in a way where she understood where I was coming from and the consequences of the decisions that I've made. But also, she was looking at it from, you know, a much wider perspective of her own experience and the experience of other people. And of course, having lived through like 60 odd years of life, and she said everyone's busy. And this made me realize that, yes, she said, I'm not the only one. Like, don't think you're the only one. And I realized that's true. I'm not the only one. And I think as we grow up in life, our family members, like our siblings, cousins, you know, mom and dad, like uncles, aunts, like they all end up pursuing their own path, pursuing their life in the way that they want to live. And that means that everyone that you know is living out their lives in their own way with the decisions that they've made. And I find it really hard actually to not compare myself to people that I know, like my colleagues or my family members, because I think to myself, okay, like, you decided you're not going to have any children. Well, here's your free time. But then my free time is filled with all the creative things that I do, and also the household stuff, the personal side of things, relationships, etc. And it gets, when it gets really overwhelming, I feel guilty for feeling overwhelmed, because I think you should be able to handle it. It's not like you have, you know, a whole other human being to look after. And I think I'm ready to let go of that guilt, because if you do decide to have children or pets, or if you decide to like go after your dreams, then it's our responsibility, I think, to live out the consequences of our decisions, knowing that we can change and pivot at any moment, but to see it through, especially if your answer to the question of, is there anything else I would rather be doing, is no, then you're exactly where you're meant to be. Like, I feel like with that question being answered for myself internally, I feel like I am happy with where I am. I'm content with where I am, dare I say. And I feel like that is just still even sinking in. And because of that, I want to enjoy what I'm doing, have more enjoyment around the decisions that I've made.